we think in photographs. I think our brain, to a certain degree, is in a series of memories that are in photographic form.
Memories imprinted and stored away like evidence.
125th of 1 second. The photograph is the truth.
John Holbrook is a photographer.
Right out of college, I became a private investigator.
He developed his skills investigating capital murder cases.
One of my jobs was to view the crime scene evidence.
Evidence, like graphic photos. Of two Denton teenagers brutally murdered.
One of the most disturbing things I've ever seen in my life.
Those pictures changed him.
I began having episodes that were really unexplained.
Anxious and fearful.
A total innocuous object like a hole in the ground
Holes like the wounds in those crime scene photos
would stop me, it would freeze me in my tracks.
We began looking at why he was getting anxious.
It became so alarming and so disturbing that I went to go see a psychologist.
And letting go is tricky because most of us don't want to.
They made me furious. They made me angry.
He was going to need to find some way to understand or forgive the actions of this man.
How in the world could this person have done something like that, you know?
His picture of this monster in his head.
James Lee Clark.
How could forgiveness even be possible?
I was just absolutely so angry at the people that could possibly do such a thing.
The only way out of this, in some ways, is to let go.
John took his anger and his camera
I was very anxious the first time because I didn't know what to expect.
to confront the monster the only way he knew how. On death row.
Would I see a monster? Would I be able to sense evil? Look right here, look right here. Okay, look down, look down. Look up.
12 death row inmates agreed to let John take their picture.
Okay, eyes up, look up. Beautiful.
Over several trips,
I'll take the pictures now.
he photographed them and talked to them.
Yeah. It's a way to communicate the truths through art.
I'm an innocent man.
John heard some things he expected to hear.
I was not brought up in a very good home.
I did not kill anybody.
You know, I was a 19-year-old child.
They didn't mean to kill nobody.
I didn't murder my children.
That's not me.
Okay. Thank you.
But he kept coming back,
How you doing, man?
Doing real good.
Good to
How about
see
yourself?
you. Doing great, man.
Can you hear me?
and he kept talking.
You were the first one I photographed.
We're people back here. We're human beings.
You think of death row and you think of hideous monsters and
He heard some things he did not expect to hear.
Have you seen real change in people?
People back here do have, you know what I'm saying, you're saying true remorse.
There's no winners to this. You know, regardless of the outcome, there's no winners to this.
And finally, he heard one thing he needed to hear: an apology.
That I'm sincerely sorry.
And see, the Soto family, they're suffering because of what has happened.
And that's one thing about asking them for forgiveness so they can start their healing.
Just as those crime scene photos changed him once,
I'm not going to forget why those people are there and what they have done. God bless you.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
he changed again.
That is amazing, you know? Yeah, to see the process of forgiveness and healing.
John says a photograph is the truth.
I think that they even begin to doubt themselves whether or not they are human.
But can there be more than one truth on the faces of death row?
I've never seen that like that before, man. You do amazing work.
I'm not gonna be no good the rest of this day.
it's very special.
My objective is that to show the humanity in everybody.
And what about the man from the crime scene photos who killed the 2 Denton teenagers?
And James Lee Clark was given the death sentence.
Since 1982, Texas has executed more than 420 inmates.
James Lee Clark was number 391. But before Clark's execution, something happened.
I began to pray for James Lee Clark and understand him in order to forgive him.
And in that act of forgiveness, John finally let go.
It was like magic. If I were to forgive James Lee Clark a certain degree, that exact degree, I would stop suffering.
John hopes through his photos, people will learn what he learned about forgiveness.
You can defeat suffering by loving and forgiving.
But can pictures really do that? For John, there is no other way.
The only way we can truly stop suffering is to love and forgive those who have caused that suffering. That's the truth.
David Schechter.